Howdy from Texas, this is Heath Hipple with Bugg's Fishing, and last time I had that confession to make that I'm a lure tweaker, that I can't help myself. I have to make small changes that I think would improve the baits. So last time we talked about a new belly weight that I was developing to use on the Trout Thumper, and I said this belly weight is 3/8 of an ounce, and I think if you compare the like if you have a 1/4 ounce jig head and a soft plastic, it will be equal to a Trout Thumper with a 3/8 ounce weight. However, things don't always work out exactly as you want them to, and I got the new belly weights in. Suckers are just a tiny bit over 1/2 of an ounce, and so it was a couple days of, oh crap, what does this mean? What am I going to do? But I said, okay, let me just tie one up. And so this is a Trout Thumper in the croaker color, and that new back color that I was talking about last time, and it has the 1/2 ounce weight. And so it is the same profile as the other Trout Thumpers, and I just know that there are situations where you're going to want a heavier Trout Thumper, getting down through current, fishing deeper water. And when this came out as 1/2 of an ounce, I said, okay, I'm just going to have to call it there's just going to be a new Trout Thumper size, and it's going to be 1/2 of an ounce. And so it was not exactly how I intended it, but I'm pleased with the results, and I know it's going to be useful, and I know it's going to help you catch fish in those conditions that we talked about. And so this is a Trout Thumper in the croaker color with that 1/2 ounce weight. It's a great little profile bait fish, and we're just going to have there's going to be a 1/2 ounce Trout Thumper now, along with the 1/4, the 8th, and the 16th. The 16th is the slowest seller, so that's going to be the ones we're lightest stock in, but we're the next production run is going to include all 4 sizes. And so, like I said, I'm happy with it. It's not exactly what I intended, but it's one of those, it's going to be good. And I've talked to several people who are excited about that new weight, and I'd like to hear what you think. And so this is it's going to be the new 1/2 ounce Trout Thumper. Next, speaking of the Trout Thumper, I've had some people ask about how to change out the tails on a Trout Thumper. Just so you know, all of the Buggs that we sell replacement tails to go along with them. About 80% of y'all, however, don't buy replacement tails when you buy the Buggs. And so I want to show you how to change out the tails on the Trout Thumper, and we're going to go through change out the tails on the others, and then I'm going to tell you a little hack to save you some money on Trout Thumper tails. So this is an 1/8 ounce Trout Thumper in Gray Ghost, and this is the tail that it came with. And we had the tails specially made. They work great, and ideally you replace it with the same tail that it came with, and like I said, we sell those in packs. However, here's a little hack. Let's talk about how to replace the tail. So a customer this week asked me how to change out his tail on a Trout Thumper, and so let me show you how the tail is installed. And then I'll give you a little hack or a little tip to save you some money. So here's the Trout Thumper. On the Trout Thumper, there's a stainless steel post with a screw lock on it. And so this is how the tails are installed. It starts upside down, and you do a 1/2 turn, and then you do 2 full turns. 1, 2. So that's how the tail is installed on a Trout Thumper. So when the tail gets torn up, you just bring everything back and you unscrew it. So we sell the replacement tails on the Bugg's website. just the exact colors that they come rigged with. They work great. But let me give you a little hack. This is the last 2 inches of a Kaden Lures Blazing Shad. So I had a mold made, and it was just the last 2 inches of the Kaden Lures Blazing Shad, their paddle tail bait. And so here's a little hack, or the tip. All of us have packs and packs and packs of soft plastics, maybe that you don't use, or maybe that you do use. But here's a way to use those. So what you would do, you would find a similar color. See, this is the gray ghost, and this is a black and gray with some silver flake. This is a burner shad from Down South Lures. And so you would take about the last 2 inches of this bait, just cut it off, and then you would install this. You would install that on your Trout Thumper. Let's do it the same way. Let's go 2 1/2. So start it upside down, half turn, and then 2 full turns. 1, 2. And so that'll work. That'll work on your Trout Thumper. The colors match. That's what I like to do. I like to match the colors to make it look more natural. And this is a way to save you a few bucks and use some of those extra soft plastics that you have in your tackle box. Now let's talk about changing out the tails on a flats bug. And this is the 3/16 of an ounce. This is a PBT color. The flats bug, the top piece of rabbit has a slit cut in it, and it slips off the hook point just like that. And so you pull all the other materials back. And the flats bug does not have a screw lock on the hook shank. A couple different reasons. The screw lock doesn't really fit well right there. These little grubs are a pain to get on there, and then a lot of our customers, when they go on bonefish trip, can use the flats bug, and they can tip it with bait, and it's just easier to tip a bare hook shank like that. And so you see how there's not much of a flat part of the shank before it curves up, and for that reason you don't have to go very far down at all on these little grubs. And so you want the grub to sit up when the flats bug is on the bottom. So that's how you orient it like that. And like I said, you don't go far. You don't go very far at all. And so right there, the tail's up just like it should be. The grub is relatively straight, and then you just slip that top piece of rabbit back over. And so then you're good to go. So that's how you change out the tail on a flats bug. The 1/4 ounce flats bug is a little bit bigger profile, but it's the same way. So top piece of rabbit slips off, pull everything back. These take a 3-inch grub. The 1/8 and 3/16 ounce flats bug take a 2 1/4 inch grub. These take a 3-inch grub, and it's the same thing. There's not much space right there, so you don't have to go very far at all with your grub. Just a little bit like that. Slip the top piece of rabbit back over, and then you're good to go. Can we do the curl tail jig again?
Yeah.
With like
even the Trout Thumper too.
Okay.
Like just that whole hack.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Rex.
Sorry.
Okay. Now let's talk about changing out the tail on a curl tail jig. So the top piece of rabbit, you slip it off the hook point like that, and then you pull everything back. Okay, these are held on by a screw lock. You back it off and take it off, and you get your new tail, and you see there's a little bit of a flat area, so you know about how far to go down when you're putting the new tail on, and you want the tails to be out to the side like that, not up and down. And so you orient it that way on your hand before you put it on. Like I said, you don't have to go far. You don't have to go far. Okay? Push it on like that. Screw it once. Screw it twice. And so the tails are to the side like you want them to be, and the tail is straight, and then you just take this top piece of rabbit, put it right back over the hook point, and you're good to go. And this is one of those that some people will put a gulp grub on there. If you like fishing with gulp, you could put a 3-inch gulp grub on there. But that's changing out the tail on a curl tail jig. So we're about to get a big cold snap. It's going to get down in the 20s here, and I think it's coming over pretty much all of the U.S. A great wintertime baits are the Ned bugs and the Ned minnow bugs. They go down to the bottom, they sit up, they look alive, and they're built for fishing slow and fishing lethargic fish. And so definitely make sure you have some Ned bugs and Ned minnow bugs in your tackle box for fishing this winter. Lastly, I want to say this. I really appreciate your support this year. We've had a good year. It looks like it's going to be an even better 2023. From my family to yours, hope you have a Merry Christmas. Be free, be wise, be blessed. Catch you later.